This mic works. Hello, Washington, D.C. And if you're looking online, it's worldwide. This is the Millennium Stage, John F. Kennedy Center. This is a special presentation for us because D.C. represents a long lineage of black art and culture, right? And in changing times, sometimes how the city gets marketed, a lot of it may be left to the wayside. So we came to honor, as musicians, writers, and creators in our own right, that lineage, because the work that we do is representative of that. So tonight we honor a musician who was not a native Washingtonian, but who called DC home. And that artist is Gil Scott Heron. That's when you clap, okay. So the year was, I think, 1973, and Gil Scott and his collaborative partner, Brian Jackson, who was a composer in his own right, came down to Washington, D.C., specifically to work with a label called Strata East. You guys know about Strata East? Okay, so Strata East was run by two musicians. It was an artist-minded record label, different than Blue Note and the other kind of heralded record labels at the time. They had just finished their deal with Flying Dutchman. And Strata East was run by trumpet player Charles Tolliver and pianist Stanley Cowell, who actually still resides in this area. And at that time, Gil Scott and Brian Jackson wanted to come and get with a smaller core where they knew that the focus would be on the art, not just the profit behind the art. And that was a big ethos behind Strata East. Now, at that time, at Strata East, they had a radio man and marketing distributing man working with them named Jimmy Gray, Black Fire to some, who was also a native Washingtonian from Northeast D.C., who was also a big part of why we're here tonight. He was my father, and he went on to start a label of his own and release a bunch of music. And so that's just to show you like the direct lines to what we're doing and the music that came before us. And so there are many other stories to be told, but you know, we only have an hour. So tonight we're gonna focus in on an artist who was a, how do I say, he was of the generation of the Black Liberation Movement, and following those like Amir Baraka and Langston Hughes, who Gil Scott noted as his direct influences. And of course you had the last poets that came before him who added the, you know, they call it jazz poetry, but mixing the poetry with the instrumentation of jazz music, and jazz being American classical music as we recognize it. Jazz, of course, is kind of the bastardized name, but that's the name that we take and we speak, and we put a capital J on it now. And again, we follow that lineage. So in 1973, when Gil Scott moved here to finish his master's degree at Johns Hopkins, which is in Baltimore, he was also teaching at Federal City College, which is now UDC, University of District of Columbia. And they moved here not only to work with Strata East, but because they knew that we could be close to the seat of power, like the things that were happening, to be able to influence cultural shifts and changes, they had to be close to where it was happening, the nucleus of it. And DC has always been that, right? But it's also been the nucleus of progressive black thought. So here we are. In 1974, they moved to Logan Circle, which at the time was one of the most affordable neighborhoods in DC. And if you're from DC, that would be kind of like a conundrum, like Logan Circle being one of the most affordable neighborhoods. But their album, Winter in America, was inspired by their time in Logan Circle. So originally that album was going to be called Sacred Circle. And so songs like The Bottle and all the other, you know, we could go through it, but we're inspired by the people, the black families, the working class that made up that community in Logan Circle. In fact, a lot of this neighborhood, Foggy Bottom, was predominantly black at one time. Georgetown, predominantly black, until redlining came and they pushed and shifted. And again, we're seeing some of those same things happening, right? In different ways, some blatant, some not so blatant. So I think it's more than timely for us to celebrate the music in that way, because music has always been a catalyst for the change. And Gil Scott Heron was one of many voices to represent what could be. And a lot of what we do, I guess, as artists, is projecting the future of what we want to see. But a lot of what Gil Scott Heron and Brian Jackson was doing was putting a magnifying glass on what was happening at the time, putting a magnifying glass on America at the time. So that's what we're going to do right now. And I'm joined by some good friends. The house band tonight, Nag Champa Art Ensemble, which I'm a part of. I'm a part of this group. These are brothers from around the DC area. We formed on Kennedy Street. We formed on Kennedy Street, and now we're at the Kennedy Center, right? Talk to me. Now we're at the Kennedy Center. It comes full circle, okay? And we're here to represent a lineage, like I said. We are not the first, we should not be the last. So I'm gonna introduce the band now because we aren't here to hear me talk, but I appreciate you. This is Home, a suite for Gil Scott Heron, and Nag Champa Art Ensemble. First we have Alan Jones on drums. Alan Jones on drums. Kwesi Lee, who is our musical director tonight, on keys. DeHondo Smith, who plays so many instruments, but tonight he's on bass. So DeHondo Smith is on bass. Elijah Easton on sax, tenor sax. Jeremiah Long will be playing percussion tonight with us. Jeremiah, this is his first time hitting with us, y'all, but it won't be his last either. So we are joined by two vocalists and writers in their own right. And they'll be coming out, not on the first song, but soon. We have Yaya Bey with us tonight, who's a New York native who's made DC her home for over 10 years, and she's contributed a lot to the culture as far as museums and all types of artwork, and just being creating platforms of her own. So we're lucky to have her here. And we also have a native daughter of Washington, D.C., Meche Korrect, who's also a graduate of Duke Ellington School of the Arts, also a graduate of Morgan State University, and she's Mama Nia's daughter, you know, if y'all know. And her family represents a long lineage of adding to the culture here in the Pan-African community here in D.C. So they'll be joining us, and they're two important voices to this. So everybody that's here tonight, it's not just because they're great on the mic or great at their instrument, it's because they understand the context of what we're building. So they'll be coming out. But next on vocals is my older brother, Kwaku, Black King Soul, and this is Nag Champa Art Ensemble. And we're gonna open up with something nice. And thank y'all for attending. Thank you to the Kennedy Center for allowing us to do this. Peace, peace.
Y'all all right? All right. So you could have been anywhere tonight, but you're here with us, and I want to thank you for being here. We are Nag Champa Art Ensemble. We require your energy. We require your energy, so it's okay to get up and dance. We got a little sun today, it ain't as cold as it's been, so it's okay to move a little bit. If you feel like clapping your hands, you can clap your hands. stomp your feet, you can stomp your feet. We here represent the long lineage of artistry. Specifically tonight, those for Brother Gil Scott Heron. Can I hear it for Gil Scott Heron? These are mine in the front dancing, if you were wondering, these is me. Go ahead, Amar. So this first song we're gonna get into, called The Bottle. Boy over there running scared, his old man in the bottle. He done quit his 9 to 5, drink full time, and now he's living in the bottle. See that black boy over there running scared, his old man got a problem, and it's a bad one. He done pawned off damn near everything. His old woman's wedding ring for the bottle. People say to me, they say, listen, don't you think it's a crime? That time after time, people living in the bottle. Got them living in the bottle. See, that young girl sure was fine. She started out drinking the wine in the bottle. He said her whole man creeped into the crime, and now he's doing time. He's in the bottle. I see her out down the avenue all by herself. She sure needs help from the bottle. The preacher man tried to help him out. Hit him in the head with a bottle. And that's when they asked me, they said, hey, don't you think it's a crime? Time after time, people living in a bottle. Give it up for Elijah Easton on the saxophone. celebrate, celebrate. Let me hear you singing. Oh, I can hear you singing. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Let me hear you sing that. One more time, let me hear you celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Now let me hear you singing. Sounds so good to me, let me hear you celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Now let me hear you singing. All right, now don't you think it's a crime that time after time people living in a bottle? Yeah, living in a bottle. Living. Say na na na. What's y'all part now? One more time, say na 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 na. Say na na na. Let me hear you sing it. Na 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 na. Oh, you sound so good, yeah. Na 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 na. Put your hands together for Sister Yaya.
How y'all doing? Peace and blessings. How y'all doing? My name is Meche, Korrect? Please, I beg you. Hi y'all. The name of this poem is Small Talk on Linux and 125th. This is just like listening to a conversation being held by the many people who congregate on one of the most popular blocks in the largest neighborhood of Black America. Did you ever eat cornbread and black-eyed peas? Or watermelon and mustard greens? Get high as you can on Saturday night. Go to church on Sunday to set things right. Listen, I seen Miss Blake after Willie yesterday. She'd have killed anybody who got in her way. Look, I got a TV for £1 on the head, and Jimmy John got the best Panamanian red. No, I ain't got on no underclothes, but we all gotta get through this gypsy road. I think Clay makes some very good points. You say a trade bag with 13 joints? Who cares if LBJ's in town, up with Stokely and H. Art Brown? I don't know if the riots is wrong, but Whitey been kicking my ass for way too long. I was supposed to, baby, but they held my pay. Did you hear what the number was yesterday? Junkies is all right when they ain't broke. They leave you alone when they high on dope. Damn, but I wish I could get up and move. Shut up, baby. You know that ain't true. Thank you. So we're gonna go straight into The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. This has to be one of Gil Scott's most popular pieces. Would you all agree? I would agree as well. I think the irony is the fact that a lot of the things he's talking about is still happening today. stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and drop out.
You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and Skip out for beer during commercial breaks.
The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruption. The revolution will not make your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nubs. The revolution will not make you 5 pounds thinner. The revolution will not be televised, brother.
The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of young being run out of Harlem on the rail with a brand new process.
There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in his red, black, and green jumpsuit, just that he'd been saving for the right occasion.
Women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane. Search for better tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day.
The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news, no hairy women, no Joan and Anasis rubbing her nose. The revolution will not be televised.
The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb, Francis Scott Key, not sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or the Rare Earth.
The revolution will not be televised.
The revolution will be live.
The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised.
Revolution will not be televised. Revolution will not be televised. Revolution will not be televised. Gonna be live, gonna be live, gonna be live. Gonna be live, gonna be live, gonna be live. Gonna be live, gonna be live, gonna be live. Revolution will not be.
The revolution will not be.
The revolution will not be.
Revolution will not be.
Revolution will not be.
Revolution will not be.
This ain't pretty, baby. It ain't that pretty, baby.
The revolution will not be. The revolution will not be.
Revolution.
vultures circling beneath the dark. for the rain, looking for the rain. It's winter, well it's winter, yeah. Well it's winter, well it's winter, yeah. Well it's winter in America. Well it's winter, yeah. Yeah. Well it's winter in America. Yeah. And the cities staggering on the coastline, and you're living in a nation you just can't stand. And the forest buried beneath the highway never had a chance, never had a chance. Oh, well, it's winter in America. Oh, well, it's winter, hey. Welcome the pilgrims, hey, and like the buffalo who once ruled the plains, and like the vultures circling beneath the dark clouds, looking for the rain, looking for the rain. Oh, it's winter in America. Oh, it's winter, hey, hey, hey. Oh, it's winter in America. Looking for the rain, looking for the rain.
creature from another time. It inspires the baby's questions from their mothers when they ride. But no one stopped to think about the babies or just how they would survive. And we almost lost Detroit. That's how will we ever get over losing our mind? Just 30 miles from Detroit, there stands a giant power station, and each night it takes while the city sleeps. Just seconds from annihilation. But no one stopped to think about the people, or just how they would survive. And we almost lost Detroit this time. Now how will we ever get over? Yeah, losing our minds. Yeah. How will we get over?
How y'all feeling? Junkie walking through the twilight. I'm on my way home. I left 3 days ago, but no one seems to know I'm gone. Home is where the hatred is. Home is filled with pain. Such a bad idea if I never went home again. Stand as far away from me as you can and ask me why. Yeah. Hang on to your rosary beads, close your eyes and watch me die. drums real quick. You keep telling me to kick it and quit it. You keep telling me to kick it and quit it. it, quit it, kick it, quit it, kick it, quit it. Keys, come back. I said, my name Meche, I be from DC, and I be chillin' all around my city, and I be watching, and I be seeing, and I be wondering what we doing. Are we winning, or are we losing? Or are we moving, or are we moving? Are we moving? Are we moving? I'm looking at you. Kick it, quit it, kick it, quit it. I want y'all to come down. Come down. Kick it, quit it, kick it, quit it. Kick it, quit it, kick it, quit it. Thank you. My name is Meche Korrect. I see my parents. Baba Zach and Mama Nia. That is who made me, in case you don't know. Thank you very much. I'm Meche Korrect. If you have IG, everybody has IG, even the parents. You can follow me at Meche Korrect. That's MECHEKORRECT. Peace and blessings.
So we got another song coming up. It's very apropos to the time. It's gonna be our last song, then we're gonna get out your way. No, we're not doing that, brother. We're doing something a little closer to home. Something a little closer to home. And I need you to listen to the words of this one. When it's over, tell me it ain't talking about today. A little more participation would be cool. Appreciate you. We want to thank those who had us. Thank the Kennedy Center. Y'all please give it up to my sister Yaya Bey. Yaya's a phenomenal singer, musician. She's also a designer. She made this shirt. Y'all like the shirt? So holla at Yaya. She makes nice bags, shirts, men, women. Give it up for my sister Meche, Korrect. A phenomenal sister, a phenomenal sister. She travels back from the motherland. She often brings goods with her, so please holla at her. You gotta support your arts and your artists. I wanna thank you for being here with us. You could be somewhere watching Tom Brady play again, I don't know. You could be somewhere watching the Super Bowl, but you're here. We all taking a knee, I guess, this year. And I thank you. We all took a knee today. Shout out to Kaepernick. So we're gonna do this last song. We'll get you. Oh, I'm sorry. Y'all give it up for my man Jamal Gray. Y'all give it up for the Uptown Art House. Brought all these people together. Once again, we are Nag Champa Art Ensemble. We thank you for rocking with us. If I miss you, it's only because of the lights. I can't see. But I feel your energy. I thank you for being here with us. There's so many creative spirits. I can't hear you, brother, but I got something for you. I promise. I promise. If you don't like it, I'm going to give you the mic. When we start playing this, if you don't like the song, I'm giving you the mic. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Pent up against the coast, the outhouse of bureaucracy surrounded by a moat. The citizens of poverty are barely out of sight. The overlords escape in the evening, the people on the night. Morning brings the tourists, tearing eyes and rubbernecks. of irony for all the world to see. It's the nation's capital, it's Washington, D.C. It's the nation's capital, it's the nation's capital, it's the nation's capital, it's Washington, D.C. May not have the glitter or the glamour of LA, may not have the history or the intrigue of Pompeii, but when it comes to making music and showing up making news, people who just make sense and some just make it do, seems a ball of contradiction pulled in different ways between the folks who come and go and those who got to stay. It's a mess of irony for all the world to see. It's the nation's capital, it's Washington, D.C. I say it's the nation's capital, it's the nation's capital, it's the nation's capital, it's Washington, D.C. It's the nation's capital, it's the nation's capital, it's the nation's capital, it's Washington, D.C. It seems to me it's all night, living night up on 14th Street. It makes me feel it's always the right time. The people showing up, coming to come and clean. It didn't make the one second to none. But it's the nation's capital, it's the nation's capital, it's the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Hey, it's the nation's capital, showed up feeling capital. The punishment is capital, it's Washington, D.C. I said it's the nation's capital, the punishment is capital. It's the nation's capital, it's Washington, D.C. Said it's the nation's capital, punishment is capital. The punishment is capital in Washington, D.C. I said it's the nation's capital, showed up feeling capital. It's the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Hey, it's the nation's capital, showed up feeling capital. The punishment is capital, it's Washington, D.C. Said it's the nation's capital, it's showed up feeling capital. It's the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Once again, we want to thank y'all for rocking with us. Thank you to the Kennedy Center for having us. Thank you to Sister Yaya Bey, y'all give it up. Thank you to Sister Meche, Korrect, y'all give it up. Give it up. Give it up. We give thanks and blessings to the Creator. We give thanks and blessings to Brother Gil Scott Heron, give it up. Give it up. Washington, D.C. said it's the nation's capital, shown up feeling capital. It's the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Said it's the nation's capital, shown up feeling capital. The punishment is capital. Nag Champa Art Ensemble. Peace.